You know, in the world of elite military units, nicknames aren't just handed out, they're earned. And today, we're going to unpack the story of a battalion with a name that says it all, the Restless 13. So, restless. Think about that for a second. It's not exactly the first word you'd associate with a super disciplined infantry unit, right? It brings up this image of like constant motion, an energy that just can't be bottled up. So, what's the story here? How does a whole battalion get a nickname like that? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Okay, so who are we talking about? This name, the Restless, belongs to the 13th Battalion of the East Bengal Regiment, or 13 EBR as they're known. And they're not just any unit. They're a core part of the Senior Tigers, which is Bangladesh's oldest and largest infantry force. So yeah, they've got some serious history behind them. They were formed way back in 1976, and right from the get-go, this light infantry unit got a reputation for one thing: incredible readiness. We're talking about a group that consistently shows up with amazing agility and top-notch performance, whether they're operating at home in Bangladesh or on missions across the globe. And their whole identity, their whole ethos, is wrapped up in their parent regiment's motto, Shakti Mukti Pragati. That translates to power, freedom, and progress. I mean, those three words, they really do capture the kind of relentless energy we're talking about with the Restless 13. All right, so to really get why they're called Restless, we have to look at where it all started. And that's right at home, with their service inside Bangladesh. This is really the crucible where that legendary reputation was forged. Think about this. The battalion was formed just a few years after Bangladesh gained its independence. So they were thrown right into the fire, immediately put to the test. All through the 80s and 90s, they were sent into some seriously demanding counter-insurgency operations in the Chittagong Hill Tracts. And that place, we're talking rugged, difficult terrain and really complex, unconventional warfare. I mean, it was a true trial by fire for any unit. And this is where we get to the heart of that name. See, Restless wasn't just some cool-sounding label they picked. It was a reputation they earned, out there in the field. Military journals at the time even noted their almost uncanny ability to get mobilized and deployed faster than standard timelines. They were always a step ahead, always ready to go at a moment's notice. But their restlessness went way beyond just combat speed. It was this deep-seated commitment to serve the nation in whatever way was needed. One day it's securing remote borders, the next it's providing security for national elections. And then you've got them leading disaster relief efforts, providing absolutely critical life-saving aid during horrible floods and cyclones. They were everywhere they needed to be. Okay, so that's the home front. Now let's follow their story as it glows global, because it really wasn't long before that same restless energy was being exported around the world, this time serving under the blue flag of the United Nations. And pretty soon, the Restless 13 were right at the forefront of some of the most challenging UN peacekeeping missions you can imagine. We're talking conflict zones like Liberia, Sudan, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, places that were often in the middle of some really intense civil unrest. But here's the thing that really set them apart. Their mission wasn't just about keeping the peace. It wasn't just about holding a line. They were actively involved in rebuilding communities that had been absolutely shattered by conflict. They were basically pioneering a whole new, much deeper model of what peacekeeping could be. You know, this proactive approach, it really became their signature move. Instead of just patrolling, they were out there building schools, setting up medical clinics. They were building trust and stability from the very ground up. And this approach, it earns them huge praise from UN commanders. It proved that real peacekeeping isn't just about holding a fragile line. It's about helping people build a future. So, what makes a unit like this tick? What's the secret sauce? Let's peel back the layers a bit and take a look at the anatomy of the Restless 13 to see how they're so darn effective. Okay, structurally, they follow a pretty standard infantry command setup. You've got a lieutenant colonel as the commanding officer, then majors and captains leading the different companies. But check out that last role on the list, the Subedar Major. This person, the highest-ranking junior commissioned officer, or JCO, is absolutely critical. They're the vital link, the trusted advisor who really bridges the gap between the officers and the enlisted soldiers. You can't overstate how important that role is. So, in terms of numbers, we're looking at around 850 personnel in the battalion, and they're organized into a few key companies. The easiest way to think about it is this. You've got 4 rifle companies. They're the tip of the spear. Then there's the support company, which brings in the heavy hitters, mortars, anti-tank weapons, and finally the headquarters company. They're the brain of the operation, the backbone, handling all the logistics, comms, and planning that makes everything else possible. And you can really see their dual identity just by looking at their uniforms. On one hand, you have their modern, practical digital camouflage specifically designed for the tough conditions of jungle warfare. But then you see the other side, the traditional olive green ceremonial tunic. It's worn with all the senior tiger regimental symbols, and it just speaks volumes about their proud heritage and their deep sense of discipline. So when you put it all together, you can see how the meaning of restless has really evolved, right? It's not just about moving fast anymore. It's become this entire ethos, a philosophy of constant readiness, of deep professionalism, and this incredibly proactive drive to serve other people, no matter where in the world they might be. And their legacy, their impact is undeniable. I mean, within the Bangladesh Army, they've set the benchmark for high readiness. On the world stage, they're a symbol of professionalism. And they're not standing still either. They're constantly modernizing through big initiatives like Forces Goal 2030. For all this incredible service, they were formally awarded the prestigious regimental colors, which is a massive honor. And really, it's the tireless, round-the-clock dedication of units just like the Restless 13 that has helped make Bangladesh one of the top troop-contributing countries to the UN, period. They play a truly vital role in global security. So, when you look back, the story of the Restless 13 is so much more than just military history, isn't it? It's this powerful example of how a nickname, something earned in the heat of the moment, can grow into a lasting legacy. A legacy that shapes not just one unit, but helps define a whole nation's identity on the world stage. And it leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. How can the relentless spirit of just one unit end up reflecting the very soul of a nation?